Do you know what is the easiest and most powerful way to reprogram your subconscious mind? It is nothing but to become conscious about your own negative thoughts. If you cannot see your negative thoughts, how can you change that negative thought pattern? Most of the people are struggling in their life is because they don't know how to reprogram their subconscious mind. So they are living and dying like a victim in this world. And some are thinking that by dying, they will escape from the struggles of their life. For those who are thinking like that, I'll tell you a secret. If you live with a particular negative pattern, and if you die with that same negative pattern, in your next birth, you will born with this same pattern. Which means, suppose if you live this life as a financially broke person, and if you failed in creating wealth in this birth, do you know what will happen to you after death? You will take your next birth in the same kind of family where your parents are struggling financially, and you will get this same program when you grow up. So only way to escape from this trap of negative program is to reprogram your subconscious mind. If you can do this in this lifetime, you will never born with this same program again. So now let's see how you can reprogram any toughest program that you are facing right now. Okay, think. You got a negative thought pattern that you want to change. What should you do next? The next step is to create a statement that counter that negative thought pattern. After that, the next step is to become really conscious about this particular negative thought pattern. Whenever this negative thought pattern gets activated, you have to replace this negative thought pattern with that counter statement that you have created in step 2. For instance, if a person is struggling with money, here his thought pattern is lack of money. He is constantly thinking about lack. Due to this thinking, he is constantly manifesting lack and struggling financially. So here this person have to do is to become aware of this unconscious thought pattern of lack, and he must reverse this thought pattern of lack with the thought pattern of abundance. Suppose if the thought of lack comes 100 times a day, you must immediately replace that thought of lack with the thought of abundance. And understand this is a game of repetition. Do this process until that sound of lack completely stops popping up in your head, and when this sound completely stops, the new sound of abundance will start popping up in your head. And when this happens, understand that your old program of lack got replaced by the new program of abundance. When this happens, money will start to flow into your life. This is how reprogramming works. Create a new future. A new program is necessary because after all, your reality is nothing but your own subconscious programs. Okay, now let's see what Dr. Joe Dispenza is saying about reprogramming your subconscious mind. According to Dr. Joe Dispenza, your body is your unconscious mind. If you're sitting down and you start thinking about some future worst-case scenario that you're conjuring up in your mind, and you begin to feel the emotion of that event, your body doesn't know the difference between the event that's taking place in your outer world and what you're creating by emotion or thought alone. So most people then, they're constantly reaffirming their emotional states. So when it comes time to give up that emotion, they can say, I really want to do it. But really the body is stronger than the mind because it's been conditioned that way. The servant now has become the master. The act of rehearsing the mentally, closing your eyes and rehearsing the action. So then you begin to install the neurological hardware in your brain to look like the event has already occurred. Now your brain is no longer a record of the past. Now it's a map to the future. And if you keep doing it, priming it that way, the hardware becomes a software program. And who knows, you just may start acting like a happy person. 90% of the time we think the same thoughts as we thought the day before. The challenge with that is the thought that you keep thinking over and over again becomes belief, and nerve cells that fire together wire together. So the more nerve cells fire, the more they develop long-term relationships, and the more hardwired they become, the more automatic they are. The more automatic they are, the more unconscious they become. So the process of change really requires becoming conscious of your unconscious thoughts, which means just because you have that thought doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth. If you have that thought and you accept it, you believe it, you surrender to it without analyzing it, that thought will lead to the same choice, which will lead to the same behavior, which will create the same experience, which then will produce the same emotion. The same emotions then drive our very same thoughts. I think when people truly want to make up their mind to change, and they become so conscious of those unconscious thoughts, they would never go unconscious to them again. That's the moment the body is being reconditioned to a new mind. Okay, that's what Dr. Joe Dispenza is saying about reprogramming your subconscious mind. Here, I'm concluding this video. See you on next video. Thank you.